Filipino-Americans are commonly defined as Americans of Filipino ancestry. Here at the Philippine Center, we are proud to welcome the winners of the Diwa at Ginoo Ng Kalayaan for 2022 and 2023. These are among the brightest second-generation Filipinos living in the tri-state area. And we're happy to have them in a roundtable discussion to discuss how it is growing up in the United States, being both an American and a Filipino by ancestry. The Diwa and Ginoo Ng Kalayaan is an event hosted by the Philippine Independence Day Council Incorporated as part of events leading to the Philippine Independence Day Parade on June 4 Sunday. The Diwa at Ginoo is a platform for Filipino-American youth to express their ideas and talents and to gain a better and deeper understanding and appreciation about Philippine culture and the beautiful heritage of Filipinos. I am Deputy Consul General Adrian Cruz of the Philippine Consulate, New York, and I appreciate that you guys are here this afternoon. So let's begin.
Hello, I'm Jacinta Taro. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Bayonne, New Jersey. I'm a senior who's majoring in medical science, and I'm going to attend Rutgers in the fall.
Hi, my name is Ferdinand Kendrick Robles. I'm 18. I'm from Old Bridge, New Jersey, and I currently am at University of Scranton, but I am transferring to Rutgers in the spring.
Hey, my name is Juliete. I'm 16 years old. I'm a junior, and I go to John Brown High School.
Hello, my name is Joselito Jr. I'm 22 years old. I'm from Garfield, New Jersey, and last year I graduated with a BA Communications, Concentration in Public Relations at William-Paterson University in New Jersey.
Hey everyone, my name is Carrienna Chen. I'm 16 years old and I'm currently a junior in high school and I'm attending Neudorf High School in Staten Island.
Hello, my name is Dylan Dixon. I am 19 years old. I'm from the Poconos in Pennsylvania and I'm attending Delaware State University, majoring in computer science.
Hey everyone, my name is Camila Pena. I'm 17 years old from Jersey City, New Jersey. I'm a junior in high school and I attend Infinity Institute.
Hello everyone, I'm Marie Newcomb. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Washington, New Jersey, and I'm a senior in high school. I will be going to William-Paterson University and majoring in nursing.
Hello everyone, my name is Alyzza Ocampo. I'm 20 years old. I currently go to Montclair State University. I am a senior majoring in exercise science with a concentration in pre-med.
Hi everybody, my name is Joshua Andes. I am 18 years old. I'm from Union, New Jersey, and I go to Drew University. I major in biology with a double minor in anthropology and chemistry on the pre-med track.
So guys, do you know how to cook? And if you do, what's your favorite Filipino food?
I personally do know how to cook. I think my mom thinks it's very important that I'm immersed in my culture. My favorite food is probably sinigang with pampano.
Yeah, I also know how to cook, but I mostly cook American food, such as like steaks, hamburgers. I'm really good at making a steak. Honestly, I like going to like Filipino restaurants. I love going to Filipino restaurants and getting the pork adobo there. I like trying whatever lechon they have, pork adobo.
Unfortunately, I do not know how to cook. My Uber Eats bill, let's not even talk about it. My favorite Filipino food, on the other hand, I will admit, I do have the sweet tooth, so it's halo-halo. Fan favorite, cult classic.
So currently I'm trying to learn how to make lumpia. I love lumpia, oh my goodness. One time in middle school, my classmates would steal lumpia from me, just out of my lunch. I'd look away, I'd look back, I don't know where it is, Joselito, and there's just lumpia, just stuffed in their mouth. So yeah, I'm trying to learn how to make lumpia, and that's my favorite Filipino dish.
I don't know how to cook, however, I am in a culinary class in school, so catch me chefing it up in there.
Ooh.
My favorite Filipino food will definitely have to be sinigang. I feel like it is a fan favorite. I love the way my grandma cooks it. I love the way any grandma will cook it. It's phenomenal, and I will choose to eat that over anything every single day.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I cannot cook, but my favorite Filipino food is definitely adobo.
My food always comes out looking like a disaster, like it looks inedible. But I like cooking a lot of savory foods such as steak and pasta. And my favorite Filipino food has to be sinigang with tilapia specifically.
Personally, I do know how to cook. I grew up cooking a lot of different Filipino foods. My dad actually taught me. But my favorite Filipino food is sinigang.
I personally don't know how to cook. I know, very unfortunate. I kind of just leave that to my mom and my lola, and my dad as well. But if I had to pick my favorite Filipino food, it would definitely have to be sinigang or lumpia.
I do know how to cook. However, I'm more of a baker myself. I think Filipinos are really, really good at making desserts. And so if I had to choose a favorite Filipino food, I think would be cassava cake.
Oh.
All of you have been to the Philippines? All of you? Okay, we have one who hasn't been to the Philippines. For those of you who have been to the Philippines, what is the place that you missed most?
I've been to the Philippines. My parents are both from the Philippines. They grew up in the Philippines. I actually have not been there since 2012, 2011. It's been a long time since I've been there, and I really miss my family over there. But what I miss most is just being with family, hanging out with family. The culture there, the street foods actually are really nice. I really miss it there.
I'm not gonna lie. I went when I was around 6 years old, so it's pretty hard for me to remember what is over there. But I do remember hanging around with my cousins a lot. They have now immigrated here to America, but I do miss everything there. The weather is amazing. Gets a little hot sometimes. I remember that. I remember complaining a lot. But if I were to go back, I would love to visit Palawan because it's the most beautiful place on earth, apparently, and I would love to see that.
I remember my mom said to me, like, oh, your gift for graduating 4 years in university is I'm going to take you to the Philippines. And once I graduated, she did that. It was just me and my mom. My ate and my dad didn't go. Me and my mom from December to like middle of January. And so when I was younger, I'd always get kind of sad that a lot of my extended family and cousins weren't around in America, so I got a chance to see them again, the past couple months ago. And so the place that I would love to see again and revisit is Carrienna, Ifugao, the rice terraces, Banawe. I was standing on the precipice of a cliff, and although it was foggy, I felt like I could see just who I am as a person and just the love that I have for the Philippines. And yeah, I miss it. And the street food. Oh my gosh, I miss the street food. But yeah.
So I actually was just in the Philippines last summer, and I like what Tara and Karina said. Family is what I miss the most, and especially in Siargao, like hanging out with them, beautiful beaches, like so great. My family house in Las Piñas, like both my grandparents. Sorry to make it really sad, but both my grandparents recently passed away, and like that house is what I really miss right now. Like it's like all the memories are there. So yeah.
If I had to choose between one place in the Philippines that I miss the most, me personally, I can't choose between Manila or Taytay because Taytay is where my mom grew up and my family. But Manila is where I was spending most of my time. I went on like really insane shopping sprees. I bought a lot of books and pens and food. Like it was just really fun, and I miss my cousins a lot. I miss my family. Like it's just really a good experience.
For me, 3 words: Boracay, Boracay, and Boracay. I might live in New York, but deep inside, I'm really a Boracay girl because a lot of you guys are from New Jersey, but all of my New Yorkers out there, like, you'll know, too many times we're like, guys, what are we going to do today? Can't do anything, no money. But in Boracay, you could swim, you could tan, you have the beach, could go on a zip line, so many activities, fun for the whole family. What's there not to love?
I feel like I can definitely piggyback off of what Jazzy said. I feel like if I had to choose between Boracay or my Lola's house, I'm sorry Boracay, but it has to be Lola's house. I think nothing beats the vibes of being there and waking up with spam and eggs on the table. So yeah, I think everyone could agree with me on that.
I think the last time I went to the Philippines was 2019, and I used to go every summer to the Philippines, but I think my favorite part about the Philippines is, like everybody kind of mentioned, my family. I think being surrounded by your family, even extended family, it's kind of this close-knit community in the Philippines. It's kind of like a culture like no other, and so I really just love spending time with my family, but also Batangas is like incredibly beautiful, and so ideally I'd spend time with my family, but in Batangas.
Even though I haven't been to the Philippines, I definitely want to see Manila because, that's the most popular place. But I also want to go to Panggang Sinang, where my mother is from, just to see where she came from and how it is over there.
When I was 1 year old, I went to the Philippines, and I actually fell off a cow into cow dung. That's the only memory I have from family. But actually this summer, I'm gonna be going to Dipolog City to experience the life that my mom lived. So, really excited for that actually.
I think when you come back, better ride a kalabaw again, and then at least your memories will change. I noticed that what makes your memory so special is because you spend it with your cousins, right?
For sure, for sure.
They're really the best friends that you'll be with when you're in the Philippines. But the ones who are most excited to see you are your lolos and lolas.
Yes.
And I'm sure they'll really pamper you and get a chance to see them again. Who is a prominent Filipino, whether past or present, that you would like to interview and why?
I feel like I should redeem myself after the last thing that I said, which was cow dung. But I don't know. I find myself looking up a lot to Manny Pacquiao. I know recently he's ran for presidency, but honestly, I just find him to be like a personal hero of mine. I mean, I've heard a lot about his history after all the fights that he's gone through. I only mostly remember the parties that my family would have, countless parties, just for a Manny Pacquiao fight. And honestly, I'm gonna be real. Like even some random people would just drop by just for food. But honestly, I feel like that's just part of the culture. But for the most part, I feel like Manny Pacquiao really did inspire not only me but a lot of other Filipino-Americans.
I love Kendrick's answer. Manny Pacquiao, like, we all love him. I want to bring up a very important Filipino woman, Olivia Rodrigo. She's biracial, just like me, so I feel her on that personal level, and I would just love to get to talk to her, interview her, ask her like how being a biracial Filipino woman has impacted her journey, ask her like what led to her being successful, things like that. I don't know. I feel like I could relate to her on a spiritual level.
Yeah, going off of what Juliette said, I feel like just having a talk with her, especially because she's so relatable and such like a icon, especially to Gen Z. I want to know like how life is like and how drastically her life changed when she got so successful at such a young age. I feel like she's such a perfect example of a teenager. And I went to her concert, guys, so I'm not a fake fan. I love her. So.
And where's the second album?
Yeah, literally. If you're listening, Olivia, where's the second album?
We'll make sure the video will be seen by her.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
We love you. We love you.
No, I actually tried to get tickets for Olivia Rodrigo, but oh my gosh, sold out. Sold out.
Yeah, guys.
But,
the fan base is crazy.
It is crazy. And a prominent Filipino figure I would love to interview is an actor named Paolo Montalban. I'm a big movie person. I love acting, and he played the role of Prince Charming in a 1997 movie of Cinderella, in which Brandy, who plays Cinderella, was also black. So we have a diverse two leads, and I just feel like not a lot of people talk about that movie, especially nowadays where everyone just seems so riled up about castings and everything. But yeah, in that movie we have this leading Asian man playing Prince Charming, singing everywhere, and everyone just looks up to him instead of being stereotyped as some nerdy, racist caricature of an Asian person. Here he is, just playing Prince Charming, and I think that's so beautiful. And he's gonna reprise his role alongside with Brandy in the Disney film The Descendants 4. I know it's like a popular thing. Never really saw it, but yeah, I would love to interview him and ask like how it was like to do that 20, 30 years ago, and now to suddenly have be more prominent in conversations regarding equality and casting in film and media.
I mean, speaking of Gen Z, I think such a prominent figure for our generation is Bretman Rock. He, especially being born and raised in the Philippines, he shows pride for Filipinos in such an entertaining way. It grabs anyone's attention, not just Filipinos, like of all cultures, actually.
Yeah, I feel like whenever because I also like doing YouTube videos as well, whenever I mention that to someone, they go, oh, that's cool. You know what I love watching? Bretman Rock. And I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I think one person I would love to interview, it's not a big artist. I don't know if many people would know him, but it's Juan Carlos. Yes. He made Buwan. And his lyrics, his music makes me tear up. And it's the first Filipino artist I really, really got into. And I would love to know what is behind those lyrics, what really motivated him to write all that. Like, how does he do it?
A person I'd love to interview would have to be Jalen Green. He's on the Houston Rockets. He's half Filipino, half African American like I am. It's not really like a specific reason. Like, he's just real cool. he got drip. Like y'all see the Instagram. Like he's just a cool person.
I'll make you guys a deal. Let's try to write them and tell them that you said hello, and let's see where it goes. All right? Again, a shootout.
Bartman, I love you.
We'll make
Hello.
For the past like year and a half, me and Sarah have been on a like Moira spree. We've been listening to her music like every single day for like the
love
past entire
Moira.
year.
We were so close to actually seeing her concert when she was here in Jersey City, and I think it was more of my mom who like made me got onto Mora and my dad. So ever since I started listening to it, Joshua started listening to her and Jason, but more so Mora. I love seeing Mora and just her songs. Her songs are kind of powerful. They're more on the sad end, but they're really powerful, and I love her music.
Backpacking off of what Tara said and Joshua as well, I think Moira has been a huge impact on at least my little singing career. I think I first saw Moira on Wishbus, and I actually was selected to be on Wishbus as well. And just knowing in the back of my mind that, wow, I was on the same radio station as Moira, I'm like, wow, that is so cool and so awesome. But yeah.
The Wish Bus is going to be parked here during the Independence Day parade.
No way.
Wow.
The Wish Bus will be here during the Independence Day
Do
parade.
your thing. Ali, do your
All
thing,
right.
Ali.
Gosh, little band.
Acapella.
Will be.
Hi, Wishbus. I missed you. Please ask me to come back.
All right.
When it comes to music artists that I find to be interesting, Lynn Lapid. Lynn Lapid is somebody that I found to be honestly like a musical inspiration. Honestly, I ended up singing a lot of her music. In my mind is literally in my mind as we speak right now. I memorize every single one of her words, and honestly, I would just love to see how getting to where she is now, like she's kind of become popular just through TikTok and making music through TikTok, which is kind of surprising. You don't really see that too much.
What's a positive takeaway about being biracial or someone who grew up with two different cultures?
So many people think that being biracial is a struggle, and I could understand why. You don't really feel connected to one part of your culture. You often feel split up by your family. Oh, which one am I more? Like for me, for example, I sometimes feel like, oh, am I more Colombian? Do I fit in more with the Filipino standard? Or am I more Lebanese? Or do I want to like explore the Lebanese culture? However, I love being biracial because I get to share both parts of my family. They both get along really well. And combining kinds of foods such as, I don't know, sinigang and arroz con pollo, it's a really fun experience, and I love my family so much because of it.
Half Filipino, half African American, and I just love both cultures. You know, they have a lot of similarities. Like they love food, you know, soul food, or you know, Filipino food, and the comedy too, and the music. You know, they both love singing. Both cultures are just really great, and I love being biracial.
Yeah, so I am half Chinese and half Filipino, and I think my favorite thing about it has to be the food. I mean, I love Chinese food, and I also love Filipino food, and being able to eat Chinese food one day and then Filipino food the next, I think that's pretty amazing, and I'm super proud of where I come from, especially because my family is so tight-knit from both sides, and we both like learned to enjoy each other's cultures in such a beautiful way that brings our family so much closer. So.
Period. Me and Dylan coming in strong with that Blasian baddie. Personally, I just love being Blasian because I'm half Filipina and half Haitian. Completely different worlds, completely different things. Like on one hand we have lumpia, one hand we have griot, one hand we have compa, and then we have period. I love you, Jose Lydia. There's just like two completely different cultures, and I get to experience both. To me, that's like the greatest thing ever. I love being Blasian.
We have to meet again next time and then possibly watch the video together. And the rule is that everyone has to bring the favorite dish that they prepare at home, so you can share it with everyone. All right?
Leche
All right.
flan. Oh my god.
We can do 20 different versions of adobo if you wish. Try to remember you're joining the Diwa at Ginoo, and tell me what kind of experience or knowledge that you gained from joining that activity?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie. I feel like joining the Diwa pageant it was such like a impulsive thing for me to do. It's actually introduced by Jazz, our
Okay.
lovely man over here. I never saw myself as like a pageant girl. I've always been into like the modeling aspect and like the entertainment, but pageants was something that I've never really looked into, but it was probably the best decision I've made so far. I mean, I got to meet all of you guys. You guys are my new favorite people ever. The new relationships and just being able to embrace my culture in such a different way was really beautiful. And yeah, I loved it so much.
Piggybacking, backpacking off of that. I had done like fun pageant activities or stuff like that throughout high school and college, but what happened was there was a Grand Marshal ballroom party, and my mom was like, "Oh, I have a seat for you." I was like, "Mom, I'm busy. I have a birthday dinner that day." No, come. So I arrived, and then I started dancing, and that's when I was introduced to Tito Nair, and of course these lovely two people right over here, Tara and Joshua. And then they were like, "Oh, would you be interested in doing a pageant?" And I was like, because of the fact that no, you didn't say that. Sorry, you didn't say that. Someone else said that. Don't worry. But basically, after I had graduated from college, I kind of spent last summer kind of just like soul searching. Who am I as a person outside of a scholastic curriculum? So when I went to the Philippines, I really found myself a bit more. But then when I got back to the United States, I was like, okay, now I look for a job. But it's really tough out there, especially in the world after COVID, that it was just really difficult. So I kind of lost confidence in myself, and other personal things have occurred. And so I was initially hesitant actually to join the pageant. But then I remember walking to like my first practice and seeing the girls there, and they're all just like, "What's up?" And I was like, you know what? This is casual, and now I'm here.
I just want to say I love everyone sitting in this room right now, and I'm so happy that this pageant has given me the opportunity to meet you guys. We've made so many good memories. I walked away with so many good experiences, and you guys really helped me to find my confidence in myself. I remember like I was literally peeing myself backstage, and I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, like, are we really gonna do this? And like all of you guys helped me through that, and this whole pageant has helped me to realize like the importance of connecting with your Filipino community. Because before this, I didn't really have Filipino friends like that, and like this pageant has opened like the door to make so many new Filipino friends. And yeah, just like the thing that I'm most grateful for from this pageant is that like I got to make all of these new friends and be more active in the Filipino community.
I think for me and Tara, it's a little bit different. We were in the 2022 pageant,
Yeah.
and I was the first ever Ginoo Ng Kalayaan. So, thank you. I was kind of brought in on accident. I was
Yeah,
brought
actually,
in.
you were brought in by accident. He actually was not supposed to be in it entirely.
Really?
It was actually me. His mom actually asked me back in December if I wanted to do a pageant or if I was interested because I have the height. Being being this tall, obviously in a room of Filipinos, they're like, oh my God, I'm Binibini Filipinas right here, Miss Universe.
Miss Universe Philippines.
But when his mom asked me, I honestly was not confident in myself. I was very, very hesitant. And so when they moved back again in back of March of 2022, they asked again, and I was like, sure, I guess I'll do it. My mom was like, okay, you're gonna do it. Okay. And then I guess 2 practices in, prior to the actual pageant, they brought Joshua in. He was supposed to carry me.
I mean, Tara and I have been best friends since we were like 7.
7 or 8.
And so I was like, sure, I'll help Tara perform. Like, I was gonna watch her anyway. And so I was like, I might as well help her. And then Tito Rolly posted that, and he was like, I think it's time. And then I was like, time for what? Time for what? Guys.
Guys
And
section.
then he was like, I think we should start including the guys portion of the pageant. And I was like, what guys are you gonna use? And he was like, I'm looking at them. And I was like kind of hesitant because I've never really performed, I've never been on stage. And not only did this kind of bring out like a new version of me and bring me into this world of the Filipino like community in the tri-state area and introduce me to performing, to fashion, and to all these lovely people, but I think my greatest takeaway from that pageant is kind of us. I think meeting you guys, meeting Neil, Christine, Geraldine.
God, I miss them.
I think it's such a beautiful experience to meet all these young people who are dedicated and love the Filipino community.
I could also say the same thing too because again I was not confident in myself. So obviously doing the pageant I met not only was my best friend there with me, but I got to meet two other lovely ladies and another gentleman, and just bringing out my confidence in myself and being able to like, you know, embrace my culture and obviously inspiring other Filipino-Americans like myself to, you know, be confident in yourself. Sometimes you need the right people to just, you know, boost you.
Yeah, talking about confidence, like I feel like I'm fairly a confident person, but with this pageant especially, there were so many aspects where I had to step out of my comfort zone, and I'm glad I had such amazing people to break me out of that shell in many ways. And aside from meeting people about the culture as well, like I don't think before the pageant, I didn't really think I represented my culture as well as I should have. And I think, especially now with my friends coming and everyone just watching me, I think that just them being more informed about our culture, especially with pageants like these, is a really good thing.
When I got like the opportunity to join this, at first I was like, oh my God, Mom, no. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't really want to like do anything every single weekend. But when I joined and I saw everyone, oh my God, everyone was so kind. Like it was such a nice experience getting to meet new people, getting to be with all of you guys specifically. Like, oh my God, y'all. I could go on and on about how I love each and every single one of y'all. So not only was it like a new experience, but also just a bonding experience.
Yeah, it definitely was a new experience. Like it was like late night. My mom shot me a text like, "Yo, you try to be on the float, on the parade?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down." And then next thing you know, I only got one practice, and the next day you gotta perform in the pageant. But I really did enjoy it, and everybody was really welcoming. I had a great time with everybody there.
I'm so glad that like me and Joshua were able to like, you know, help you guys throughout this pageant, because me and Joshua obviously did not have anyone prior to, you know, guide us through our little pageantry.
Especially for me as a guy,
for you.
there was nobody there to look to for like help or anything. So kind of like being able to help you guys kind of really was special to us.
Yeah, and so like, you know, teaching you guys, seeing you guys like, you know, asking questions to us, like it was nice to able to, you know, see that this is actually growing, because last year there was only 5 contestants in total, and now we've moved on to 8. So
Do I stand here or do I stand there? And then Joshua goes, well, first, your posture is not straight. And I go, yeah. So thank you both, seriously.
no problem. It was really just a pleasure, and I'm so glad that we're forming bonds with you guys as well. So.
Yeah, you're all welcome.
What other experience do you think you can draw from your life that you think you can inspire others?
I know a lot of you guys can relate. I think something about my life that would inspire others is my career as a model. A lot of my modeling brethren are here with me. Being a model, it's like not something that's easy. It requires you to really look inside yourself for that confidence. And it's also like one way you can help other people. I remember I've done charity shows in the past for like people with Angelman syndrome. So being a model gives you the opportunity to help others in a way you couldn't imagine. And I think that's something that would be really inspiring to other people.
Actually piggybacking off of that, because when I met Juliete and Carrienna, we talked about like modeling and everything and our own pursuits. And I used to have really bad confidence issues when I was younger. And I know obviously it's general, you know, amongst, you know, young people, but like when I used to live in Queens, I actually couldn't like form words until I was about 4 years old maybe. So here I am, 1, 2, 3 years old. I was just speaking gibberish, and so I had to go to a speech school. So my parents were worried that I would never be able to talk or to like be able to form long conversations. And so I was always nervous whenever I spoke to people, like around like 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, and then that carried over to modeling and everything. And now I can't shut up. So yeah.
I think a lot of people don't realize how terrifying it is to put yourself out there just to be watched by a million different pairs of eyes. Like, it's honestly like the first time I've modeled, it was so overwhelming. I was terrified. I had no one that I knew, and then I met you. So thank you. But it's terrifying, and I feel like no one ever really talks about it, especially because the beauty standard, they always talk about being inclusive. And although I do believe that it has become something that's more inclusive, there's still a stigma around it that hasn't been broken down. So
Yeah, especially on like body types. Like I've gotten like, oh, you look nice, but you're not 6 feet. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think for me, like I obviously do model too. I've modeled with Carrienna, I've modeled with Tara, I've modeled with Juliete. We've walked the show on this very stage before. The most inspiring part of my life would probably be my dedication. I think I put my heart and soul into each and every single thing I do. and I wear my heart on my sleeve in each action I do. I think if you're going to do something, you should do it with conviction, with power, with passion. And I think that there's power in passion. So I think doing something kind of like modeling, dancing, singing, I think if you're going to do it, you should do it to the fullest extent you could possibly do. And I think that's what I do, and I want everybody to follow in suit.
I really saw the amount of effort that you've been doing, to perfect your craft. And that's actually the reason why I wanted to have this talk in the first place, because I could see in your eyes that you really have the ability to inspire other people. And I really hope that this discussion that we're having could really reach out to a lot of Filipino Americans out there. What have you learned about Philippine history? Or, let's be more specific, about Filipino-American history?
So recently, for my school project, I did a slideshow on Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. And I explained that we don't have much representation in America. Like, yes, you'll know, oh, big names, but we won't really see them in big positions. We won't really see them like, oh, always talked about. Like, yeah, there's always that one person. So I was talking about, I actually mentioned the PPID, this organization. I'm sorry, guys.
You'll get used to those acronyms.
Yeah, I brought up this organization. I was like, this organization is really out there showing off Filipino culture. Is something that we all kind of need to recognize at some point. And it's not like a boring event. It's a big festival. It's literally a parade.
Right.
So.
I agree. I'm currently taking U.S. history right now, and the Philippines is not really brought up unless it's like about how the Spanish and this and that, and it's just like basic, But I feel like this community that we have built socially and like together, communitively, like it really just brings out the best in us and like the best of our community, because it's so hard to be represented in a curriculum that's already set in stone. And I feel like this is so important, and people gaining knowledge and access to our history is super important.
I want to take this opportunity to talk about a magical moment that happened right here in Kalayaan Hall. This is where I did Bralan sa Consulado when I was 11 years old, and I learned a lot about Filipino history and about Jose Rizal. So Jose Rizal, as we all know, he wrote the book No Limitanjere that changed history forever. And I just found out like so inspiring how just like something like a book, a piece of literature, can like change the course of history forever. And so like to me that's like one of the standout parts of Filipino history, because it shows us like what us Filipinos can really do.
I didn't know that you were a participant in the Paralan sa Consulado. You could come back next time and post with the younger ones and join them and be the teacher. All right.
I feel like whenever I tell people I'm Filipino or whatever, they say something along the lines of, my best friend's Filipino. And I'm like, okay, that's nice. But they don't really know anything else about that. And then I would sometimes almost get into altercations with people where they'd be like, but you guys aren't Asian. And it would get into this whole kind of issue about race and ethnicity. And so nowadays, especially after joining this pageant, I learned a lot, especially about how, what you were saying about how like Filipinos were inspired by Jose Rizal's, like his writings, his poetry, art in general kind of brings us all together. And so yeah, we're Filipino, we're Southeast Asian. I love saying that now whenever people try to argue about the geography of things. I'm like, why are you just making this a thing? But yeah, I digress.
As a message to other Filipino Americans watching, why do you think Filipino Americans should commemorate or celebrate Philippine independence?
I mean, it's how we're here now. Like, that's like, if we were still colonized, then we wouldn't be talking right now and having pageants, being prideful of our own culture. We'd be kind of not erased necessarily, but almost forgotten because we'd be covered by our colonizers. And I think that showing that to everyone, commemorating our independence is very important, especially with this whole parade.
I completely agree. I feel that we need to commemorate the harsh difficulties of the past so that we could use it as motivation to advance our culture into the future, especially in the United States of America, where everyone knows about the issues here that's going on, and so I feel like to really celebrate our culture and to just introduce it to like our other friends, our non-Filipinos, and just kind of share with each other everything.
I think Filipino-Americans should commemorate to the Philippine Independence. I guess it kind of shows or showcases like our beauty, showing our culture to like other people out there, like not knowing what a Filipino is or Filipino-American, who they are, how they act, So it's just like showcasing that and what our beauty within us is just like, I think it's really great that we are able to do this, you know what I mean?
I think it's so incredibly important to recognize not only the hardship of those who came before us, but I think also the hardship of the Filipinos who are living here and the Filipinos living back in the Philippines. I think we're such hardworking people, but also to commemorate the Philippine independence, I think one of the greatest things that Filipinos know how to do is have a great time. Yeah. And so I think like celebrating along 10 blocks of Madison Avenue, having a festival, having a parade, having a cultural event, we get to like spend time with our like fellow Filipinos. We've built such an incredibly like tight-knit community here. We have our own little like taste of the Philippines here. And I think for me personally, it's always been a little bit special because my birthday is June 4th. Wow. And so my birthday this year specifically lands on the day of the parade, but it's always been like the same type of like time frame. And so I've always just loved spending my time and my birthday at the like Independence Day parade, because what better way to spend my birthday than with like the most warming, welcoming, and kind-hearted people.
Yeah, I believe that Filipinos are super overlooked, especially in our day and age. I feel like commemorating our independence brings more representation to us and everyone in general. Like Jazz said, having a big parade and showcasing our love for dance, karaoke and singing, and food. I know we're all super excited about the food vendors and the line dancing, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it's super important to recognize our independence because, like Jazzy said, that's what brought us here. That's why we're sitting here. That's why we're having this parade. And it's super important, especially for the youth, because it's always important to have them contribute to the long-going and ongoing independence of the Philippines.
I'd like to now have a last question that I'd like to ask you. How do you think you can promote Philippine culture with passion and purpose?
Okay, so I was actually thinking about this a lot. An easy way is through the use of social media, but not just kind of like, hey everyone, this is Filipino culture, but to really engage with people, to really interact with them. Yes, we talk about food and karaoke, but we're much more than that, What was our history? We were colonized 3 times, right? Yeah, and so it's like, not a lot of people know that. So whenever I mention that, they're like, really? What? You guys are such a fun-loving people. But again, we had harsh difficulties in our past. And so the way I promote it is to kind of like, when I was in my uni days, I would use Instagram stories to kind of interact with audiences. And then eventually I would use platforms such as like maybe Spotify or YouTube to just connect with a wider audience and to like not alienate non-Filipinos, but tell non-Filipinos, this is our culture, come in, let's have a discussion. And so what it all boils down to is to have a discussion, whether it's people online or that one friend at school or at work, and just talking about it and just sharing our differences, whether it's through race or values and everything like that. And so yeah, that's how I promote it, through the use of social media and just an easy conversation, nothing theatrical.
Back in 2020, actually, I was hit up by one of my fellow Filipino friends. He messaged me in regards to starting up a Filipino group on TikTok, and this was the time where Corona was happening and everyone was in quarantine, and so nothing really was going on for anyone's lives really because everyone was just inside. He messaged me and was like, oh yeah, I hit up maybe like 8 other Filipinos from around America, and we all came together, and even to this day we're all still really close. And I really love this group of people, specifically you guys, because you guys really reminds me of the friends that I made back in Corona. And I feel like it was really important with being surrounded by Filipinos from different states in America, because you kind of see their perspective and how much in tune they are with being Filipino. I feel like we created such a huge platform on TikTok that we would literally host Zoom meetings and random fans from around the whole world, even people from the Philippines, Canada, Australia, and they would come and join our Zoom meeting just to kind of ask us questions and be like, oh, so how is it there in America, and how do you guys celebrate being Filipino in America, or what do you guys eat? And it was just really cool being part of that experience.
I think just like a simple way to promote our culture is continuing our traditions and mannerisms, like saying po or blessing. I know my friends like question why I'm like blessing my mom or blessing my dad every time I see them, and I think it really shows how respectable our culture is, how we respect everyone who is older than us, younger than us, anyone like that. And just like cooking our food, like continuing, like just like if my children, I want to show them how to cook adobo or sinigang, like, and that'll just continue on and on.
All of us here are like creatives. All of us showcased our talents at the pageant. Jazzy sings, Ken sings, Juliette acts. All of us have like a special talent with us. This past September, me, Juliette, Carrienna, Tara were in this Filipino off-Broadway production called Ula La Filipinas with Tito Miguel Braganza and Tito Rolly Postadan. And so we danced the dances of like the Filipino culture. We sang the songs of the Philippines and really showcased the different like talents that we have to offer. A lot of us here actually model. For me and Carrienna, we walked this show this past February and October, where we showcased the fabrics of the Philippines for Sofia Manimbo and Carl Andrada. And so it's such an interesting thing to showcase the fashion of the Philippines, especially in such a timely manner, considering that Vogue Philippines was released this past 365 the days of the past year. And so I think it's so interesting that the Philippines is kind of being brought to the limelight.
I'd like to thank you for participating in this roundtable talk. And I'd like to say thank you also to your parents who are here. You and millions of other Asian Americans are changing the face of America. And you're offering this country with so much diversity. Like many first-gen Americans of Filipino descent, I hope that as you grow and be part of the American society, and as you create new multi-layer identities within you, you would not lose the most important identity of all, and that is being a Filipino. Yes. Right? So thank you again for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
You. Do you want to like greet anyone?
Hi, Olivia Rodrigo.
Hi, my queen, I love you, Olivia, if you're watching this.
I want to give a shout out to Bruno Mars. I want to see Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars.
Bring Bruno Mars here.
Jordan Clarkson, Jalen Green, shout out to y'all.
I just want to give a shout out to Biba Dewey.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Shout out to Paolo Montalban for inspiring me that Asian men can be beautiful in media and film.
Can't mention Olivia Rodrigo and Bea Doobie without mentioning Conan Gray. Like,
Conan Gray! Please visit the Independence Parade. Also Bruno Mars. Please perform.
I think I want to give a really quick shout out to her and Sweetie. I think they really run my playlist, and I love you guys so much.
Can we make them a
The
float?
Cinegang.
Can they please sing? I want to float just for them, like all of them.
Yes.
That's it. It's a wrap. Thank you. Bye-bye.